One question that comes to mind probably pretty quickly for you is, well, what's the big deal? Why C++? What should motivate me to spend a considerable amount of effort really learning what C++ is and how to use it? Well, there's a number of reasons, and let's start with design. To start off with, C++ was designed to be a general purpose programming languages. Now, most languages that you see out there were created to solve very specific tasks, and that's the way most developers are, or people that architect these languages. We tend to look for certain size hammers for certain size nails, and as a result, the products that we create, and I'm saying we as if I'm a software designer and I'm anything but a software designer tends to build software or a programming language to do a specific task that they need done. For example, you'll use the Transact SQL language to build relational database queries. You'll use something like Visual Basic or C# for creating event-driven Windows applications. You might use Java for network programming. Well, as it turns out, ironically, C++ is often the best choice for you when you really can't find the ideal language that you need to use because of the scope of your project. Now let's talk about functionality. C++ is often used kind of like programming glue, if you will. You've got solutions for large and complex tasks, and they require multiple languages. The T-SQLs, the Javas, the different flavors of C, other things. And as a result, what you need is something to kind of stick all these languages together, to kind of manage everybody, to hook into all of them and pull them in together and make them behave as a team. C++ was designed to do just that. Now, standardization is another one. Let's go back to our history video. If you haven't watched that one, go watch the movie on the history of C++. C++ has been around a long time. It is really got a lot of ancestry back to the very early days of computing, and so there's a lot of standardization just built into C++ because of its history. And since it's been around so long, and since so many nerds, if you'll allow me to use that term, have used C++, they designed their languages to be easily connectable or easily managed by C++. So the languages kind of come bent towards C++, if you will. And then there's performance. Now, C++ was carefully designed with performance in mind. Good example of that. If you look over in the .NET framework, and we'll talk about this some as we get into some of the examples, in the .NET framework, one of the big selling points is the garbage collector. It'll take care of destroying objects for you. It'll take care of freeing up memory. In C++, in the real native C++, you don't have garbage collection. Why? Because it introduces a fair amount of overhead into your environment, and C++ is designed to have a small footprint, to run very quickly, very efficiently, and so that's just one of the little things you're going to see here. So performance is a big deal. So when you take all these things and add them together, you can see very clearly why you would want to use C++, because when you're working with a project that needs to tie together or involve a bunch of other different programming languages, if you're trying to just wring out every bit of performance you can, if you need something that you know is going to work with everyone, it's been around a while, everybody knows how it works and functions, C++ is where you need to be, and that's why C++ is here.